And all of those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
And if you don't get that reference, your generation doesn't deserve a Blade Runner movie. Hey everybody, welcome to week 9. My name is Brian Baker, as always, and I actually am off to see Blade Runner after this, so I kind of need to hurry up. I'm probably going to be disappointed, but you know, you can't beat nostalgia. All right, before we get started with what we're doing this week, just wanted to briefly mention that this is week 9, so not to approach a delicate subject, but Friday is the last day to drop a class. If you're feeling like maybe you're not going to be able to do well at in this class, just so you know, the deadline to drop is Friday. Hopefully everybody stays with us, and hopefully you found the class to be at least somewhat entertaining and not as hard as you expected, but regardless, I just want to make sure everybody knew that date. Everybody's in a different boat. Some people, you're better off finishing the class, even if you get an F. Other people, you're better off dropping to save your GPA. Talk to a counselor, they will tell you the right thing to do. But regardless, hopefully everybody's doing just fine, and we'll keep seeing you next week. This week we're going to be looking at Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is all about digital devices as well as, kind of your media lifestyle. Honestly, this is something that our students could probably tell the authors a few things about. What can I say? I mean, when it comes to consumer knowledge, our students tend to know a whole lot. That tends to be a skill that younger people tend to be very familiar with. It's not always what employers are looking for. They don't really care about your ability to take selfies or your prowess with social media. They often care about, can you actually use Excel or something like that. But regardless, for this chapter, you're probably going to knock this one out of the park. I've got a lecture where I talk about some similar topics, and of course there's a quiz on Chapter 8. Your discussion for this week is going to be all about choices and the many choices that you have now with digital technology. It's been said that our society used to watch movies in theaters, right, as a community. And that gave us a shared language, a shared experience. There's a reason in the 1980s you could go to any kid and say, hey, may the force be with you, and they knew exactly what you were talking about. In fact, that was so strong that it persists today because your parents probably forced Star Wars on you. Society in general has sort of said that this is an important thing, despite the fact that Star Wars is actually the second best sci-fi film that Harrison Ford was ever in. See also Blade Runner from earlier. Here's the thing. We don't have that anymore, right? It's really hard for any new franchise to sort of sweep through like that. There are some, believe me, Harry Potter, to an extent the Hunger Games, although that's even pretty fractious. But the idea that you have an entire community all together watching the same film, using the same language, that just doesn't happen anymore. In the 1980s, we sort of shifted away from that. The discovery of the VCR. The invention of the VCR led to us watching movies primarily at home with our families. But even then, you had to have a shared experience with your family. Now, with digital devices, you can just watch whatever you want to watch whenever you want to watch it. You don't have to agree with even your family on what to experience. And so you might not even have shared language with your siblings or your parents. You're having completely different experiences. Now, this is great because that means you get to watch exactly what you want to watch. You have more choices than ever, and you can find something that's very, very specific, very, very niche for what you enjoy. But you don't have those shared experiences. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? The fact that you have so many choices, does that actually make you happier? How many people just sit around looking through, Netflix or whatever and never making a choice at all, right? You're just going to want to watch something, and it takes you hours just to figure out what you want to do. And so that's the point of this week's discussion. There are 2 videos I want you to see. You don't have to watch the whole videos. I give time codes that are approximate, so just kind of watch those segments. And the idea is one person, Malcolm Gladwell, he's going to talk about how the many choices you have actually make things better. You will be happier because you're going to have a product that is better suited to your needs, right? The other person, Barry Schwartz, wrote a book called The Paradox of Choice, in which he sort of goes along the idea that all of that choice actually makes it hard for you to make a decision at all. And when you do make a decision, it actually makes it harder for you to be happy with the decision you made because there were so many other options. You can't help but think, maybe I could have made a better decision. Regardless of what you think, right? Take a look at those videos. Think about your own experiences, all the different choices you have when it comes to music and movies and television shows, all those sort of digital entertainment options that you have. It actually goes beyond that. I mean, technology just in manufacturing has made it so that we can customize products. We can at least create individual products. Malcolm Gladwell specifically in the section that you're going to talk about is actually talking about spaghetti sauce. The idea that you have just aisles and aisles with so many options. It really sort of gets into every aspect of your life. Does all of this choice that technology has made possible, does it make you happier? That's the question. Maybe you're better off, but are you happier? And by the way, jury's still out. We don't know. So be interested to hear your opinions. Lastly, your My IT lab for this week is Lab 3, so Excel Lab 3. Excel Lab 3 is going to be all about charts, creating charts, formatting charts, different types of charts. And this is kind of where Excel becomes more of a communication tool. So far, you've been looking at how to calculate stuff, and obviously that's what Excel is primarily designed for. But it also has this other side to it, which is that you need to actually then communicate what you've learned to other people. And so Excel makes it really easy to take your data and convert it into helpful bar charts, pie charts, etc., that you can then export into presentations in PowerPoint or into Word documents, whatever it is you're going to use to communicate those ideas. So a lot of those sort of infographics come from Excel based on that data, and they will shift based on how you change the data. Everything's sort of dynamic, like you would expect from Excel. So this week, all about charts. Like I said, fairly important, just in that this is how you're going to actually communicate your findings in data to other people. By the way, next week, we're going to be looking at Excel Lab 4. I'm looking at the schedule, and I think we're going to do Excel Lab 4 and the Excel lab test next week, just so that we have enough time to finish everything out. We'll still get rid of the chapter and all that other sort of stuff so you have more time, but there'll actually be a lab and the lab test together in the same week. So just so you're prepared for it, you'll know that it's coming up. But anyway, this week, don't worry about that. Excel Lab 3, that's all you have to worry about, as well as the chapter and other stuff. And that's it for week 9. If you have any questions, send me an email or message me through Canvas. And as always, I will see you online.